Operation Epic Fury has seen the United States unleash an unprecedented kinetic barrage against Iran's dictatorial regime. Yet, Washington still has massive reserves left in the tank. The Pentagon has just introduced an asset into the theater that Tehran prayed it would never see in its airspace. And it is striking with such devastation that it must feel like the absolute end of the world for the IRGC. The legendary A-10 Warthog has officially been unleashed, and it is locked and loaded to support every single vector of America's Operation Epic Fury. Make sure you are subscribed to Titan Mechanics and hit that bell icon so you never miss a critical military intel update. And let us know where you stand right now in the comments. Drop a 5 if you stand with the US. Press 6 if you back Iran. Or hit 7 if you just want peace. Now, let's look at the intel. The core of this operational shift stems from a critical intelligence drop on X. On March 15, U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, declassified a series of images with a statement making it crystal clear that the A-10 Thunderbolt II, universally feared as the Warthog, is actively engaged in the Iranian theater. CENTCOM declared that U.S. Air Force A-10s are receiving mid-air refueling while actively prosecuting targets for Operation Epic Fury, emphasizing the airframe's unique ability to loiter for hours on station, ready to execute kinetic missions on demand. That specific loitering capability is the absolute linchpin of what the Warthog is executing over Iran right now, as we will unpack in this briefing. But the visual intel CENTCOM provided is far more revealing than their official caption. The mid-air refueling is not the real headline. The payload is. Military analysts at Army Recognition highlighted that CENTCOM intentionally revealed the Warthog's combat configuration, which provides exact tactical clues regarding its mission profile against Iranian forces. The most prominent munitions strapped to the attack aircraft are APKWS guided rockets, engineered to give American forces a highly cost-effective precision strike capability against asymmetric threats like suicide drones. Flanking those rockets are AIM-9L M Sidewinder air-to-air missiles and AGM-65 Maverick air-to-ground missiles. When fused with the APKWS, this loadout grants the Warthog a terrifyingly versatile combat profile. This is the definition of tactical flexibility. The specific Warthog CENTCOM showcased is stacked with enough diverse ordnance to execute a massive spectrum of offensive and defensive operations, proving these aircraft are not flying narrow, single-purpose sorties. They are equipped to obliterate everything from entrenched militia positions and command nodes to the suicide drones and fast attack craft the IRGC utilizes to harass the Strait of Hormuz. Compound that lethal payload with the Warthog's unmatched loiter time. To grasp why that is a game-changer, we must contrast this dedicated attack platform with the supersonic stealth fighters Washington has utilized to systematically dismantle the Iranian military machine thus far in Operation Epic Fury. Fast movers, particularly when executing ground strikes, rely on one doctrine: ingress, strike the target, and egress at maximum velocity. The higher those jets operate, the safer they are. A stealth fighter operating in the weeds at low altitude sacrifices maneuverability due to its extreme speed and risks exposure to overlapping, short-range Iranian air defense networks. The Warthog, conversely, is built to loiter. It operates at a deliberately slower pace, granting pilots microscopic control when flying low over the deck, and it can orbit a battle space for hours, simply waiting for a commander to call in a strike. This grants American commanders supreme tactical flexibility. While traditional fighter jets execute highly specialized, narrow strikes, the A-10s can comfortably orbit in the AO. When the call comes, they dive in, deliver devastating ordnance, and unlike the fighters, pull back up to their holding pattern to await the next target, assuming their magazines aren't empty. This is the ultimate key to sustained, relentless aerial overwatch. And this doctrine is only viable right now because of the sheer devastation American and Israeli suppression operations have wrought on Iran. The Israel Defense Forces reported wiping out a staggering 80% of Iran's entire air defense grid within the opening days of the conflict. Consequently, massive swathes of Iranian airspace are now entirely uncontested and safe from heavy surface-to-air missiles. What remains of Iran's scattered air defense network has likely been pulled back to shield the regime's final high-value targets, and they are failing miserably at even that. For a specialized attack aircraft like the A-10, this absolute aerial supremacy provides the exact environment it needs to excel. Orbit for as long as required, visually acquire the target, and neutralize it. Before we analyze exactly how Washington is deploying these flying tanks over Iran, we need to look at the Warthog's legendary engineering. Despite its versatility, the A-10 was built for one unyielding purpose: close air support, or CAS. The U.S. Air Force designates it as the first platform explicitly designed from the ground up to protect friendly infantry on the battlefield. Currently, that isn't the primary mission in Iran, as the U.S. has not officially committed massive conventional ground forces yet, though the imminent deployment of a 2,200-strong Marine Expeditionary Unit could alter that reality overnight. Traditionally, the Warthog's job is to vaporize enemy armor and hostile helicopters that threaten American infantry. But even without troops to protect, the Warthog possesses unique traits that make it the ultimate weapon for this specific phase of Operation Epic Fury. Its low-altitude prowess is unmatched. The Air Force confirms the A-10 can comfortably operate below a 1,000-foot ceiling while maintaining visual dominance up to 1.5 miles out, even under severe weather constraints. Furthermore, integrated night vision imaging systems turn the Warthog into a lethal nocturnal hunter. The pilots themselves are encased in titanium armor, which simultaneously shields the aviator and the critical flight control computers. The airframe is famously engineered to absorb direct hits from armor-piercing 2-3mm anti-aircraft artillery and keep flying. Even if catastrophic damage shreds its primary hydraulic systems, manual mechanical backups allow the pilot to muscle the aircraft back to base. With an 800-mile operational range and a top speed of roughly 420 miles per hour, it trades the supersonic speed of a fighter for devastating endurance. Beyond the Mavericks and Sidewinders, the aircraft is literally built around a 30mm GAU-8, a 7-barrel Gatling gun, and it can lug up to 16,000 pounds of mixed ordnance into the fight. We are talking Mach 82 and Mach 84 unguided bombs, mine-dispensing munitions, incendiary cluster bombs, electronic jamming pods, and intense countermeasure suites. Whether the target is dug into the earth or flying in the sky, the Warthog will destroy it, provided the airspace is clear of heavy SAMs, which in Iran, it absolutely is. It is no wonder this aircraft is dubbed the Tank Buster. While Iran hasn't had the opportunity to deploy much of its massive armored reserve of over 2,600 tanks, the Pentagon rests easy knowing the A-10 is orbiting above if the Marines do push inland. Currently, the Warthog's mission profile in Iran is strictly loiter and destroy. The first tactical application might surprise you, but it highlights the A-10's extreme adaptability. Washington is reportedly using the legendary Tank Buster to fly overwatch for vulnerable littoral combat ships operating in the choke points of the Strait of Hormuz. We know this because earlier this year, the War Zone confirmed CENTCOM released imagery of an A-10 running integrated combat drills with the USS Santa Barbara, a littoral combat ship currently forward deployed to the Persian Gulf. The strategic objective was clear: prove the Warthog could defend the Santa Barbara from asymmetric swarm threats while the ship focused on hunting naval mines. This is a critical capability given Tehran's ongoing strategy to weaponize the Strait of Hormuz, a passage that handles roughly a fifth of the globe's seaborne energy supplies. Iran has repeatedly threatened to seed the strait with naval mines to paralyze global commercial shipping. By mid-March, CNN relayed intelligence suggesting Iran had actively begun deploying these mines, contradicting slightly with Defense Secretary Hegseth's later assessment that no definitive proof of mining existed. Regardless of the conflicting intel, the threat of naval mines is a severe operational hurdle. To clear them, the U.S. must send in specialized mine-clearing vessels. Enter the A-10 Warthog. The U.S. Navy is explicitly relying on the Air Force's premier attack jet to orbit low and slow, providing an immediate, devastating kinetic response against any IRGC fast boats or suicide drones attempting to ambush the minesweepers. Beyond defensive overwatch, the A-10 is a premier standoff precision strike asset. Utilizing the AGM-65 Mavericks spotted in the CENTCOM imagery, the Warthog can systematically dismantle Iranian ground targets from a safe distance. This includes vaporizing radar installations, fuel depots, and transport logistics. Because it can loiter, it acts as a permanent, terrifying presence over the Iranian mainland, ready to launch missiles the millisecond a target exposes itself. Furthermore, military analysts have long argued the A-10 is the perfect platform to annihilate the IRGC's asymmetric naval forces. Historical mock engagements in Florida saw A-10s effectively simulating the total destruction of massive fast boat swarms. The Warthog is a proven ship killer when deployed against the exact type of small, fast patrol craft Iran relies upon. It is a stunning reality for an aircraft the Air Force has repeatedly attempted to retire. The A-10 is actively contributing to the systematic destruction of Iran's mainland military infrastructure while simultaneously neutralizing its naval capabilities. Then, there is the drone threat. Iran's primary remaining offensive capability against both U.S. assets and commercial shipping is its massive arsenal of Shahed suicide drones, the exact same munitions Russia has utilized to terrorize Ukraine. While Iranian drone strikes have plummeted by an estimated 95% since the onset of Operation Epic Fury, Tehran still possesses thousands of them. Destroying a cheap, $20,000 Shahed drone with a multi-million-dollar cruise missile is a catastrophic return on investment for the United States. It is a logistical war of attrition the U.S. does not want to fight. The solution is the APKWS guided rocket fired from the A-10. Forbes recently detailed how the A-10 has been integrated with the Falco system, allowing it to utilize APKWS rockets specifically to hunt and destroy slow-moving drones. Packing massive quantities of these precision rockets, the Warthog becomes the ultimate, highly efficient drone killer. Costing only around $35,000 per unit, the APKWS rocket finally balances the economic equation against the Shahed. Deploying A-10s to patrol the Persian Gulf ensures any Iranian drone launched is instantly swatted out of the sky without depleting America's high-end missile reserves. Iran may have already realized that launching Shaheds while A-10s are orbiting is a complete waste of hardware. The same exact logic applies to the IRGC fast attack boats harassing commercial shipping. As the U.S. moves to permanently clear the Strait of Hormuz, the Warthog is perfectly positioned to serve as the ultimate lethal escort for global tankers. The presence of the A-10 Thunderbolt II sends a chilling psychological message to the remnants of the Iranian regime. Operation Epic Fury was designed to dismantle Tehran's military apparatus, but by openly parading refueling A-10s, Washington is broadcasting that the campaign has entered a terrifying new phase. Iran's air defenses are so fundamentally broken that slow-moving, heavily armed American attack planes can now loiter over their country with absolute impunity. President Trump promised that Iran would be hit exceptionally hard, and with Defense Secretary Hegseth confirming over 15,000 targets have already been obliterated, the IRGC is running out of places to hide. The Warthog guarantees that any remaining ground, naval, or aerial assets will be relentlessly hunted down, paving the way for the USS to permanently reopen the Strait of Hormuz and strip Tehran of its final ounce of geopolitical leverage. The Warthog might be an old airframe, but for the Iranian regime, it is the face of their inevitable collapse. Smash that like button, subscribe to Titan Mechanics, and we will see you on the next Tactical Breakdown.